And Bangladesh's climate envoy Saleemul Huq has expressed his disappointment at the COP26 pact and has called it an absolute failure. Speaking to the reporters in Glasgow, Huq said that the Glasgow Pact is a death sentence for the poorest of the planet. Listen in.
As far as I'm concerned, it is a failure. Absolute failure. There may be other good things in it. I don't care.
For the people that you
Exactly.
What does it mean for
It's a death sentence for the poorest people on the planet. And not only that, the polluters are saying, to hell with you, we don't care, we're not going to give you a penny.
So very disappointed.
Not disappointed, I'm angry, as you can see. Disappointed is too low a word. We'll bring it up again. We're not giving up, but we are describing this COP as an abject failure because it hasn't been able to rise to the occasion of dealing with loss and damage. It doesn't matter what else they do. That was our issue. The poor countries, the vulnerable countries came here for that, and they've been slapped in the face by the presidency.
His comments come as the wealthy West is yet to fulfill its promise on delivering $100 billion to the vulnerable countries to adapt to climate change. The nations promised the fund by 2020. A year has passed and the money is still nowhere to be seen. Even at the Glasgow summit, the delay was criticized. However, with the final text just called for the money to be delivered urgently. During the conference, a range of wealthy governments stepped up with new pledges totaling about $960 million for the two key UN-backed funds. These funds will help vulnerable nations adapt to climate change. The amount pledged remained far below the annual $70 billion developing countries are taught to need.
Why should we be upset if foreigners want to invest here? We should be.
An amount that, as per the UN, could rise to $300 billion as a year by 2030, finance for climate change. And the role of fossil fuels, especially coal, dominated the COP26 summit. As you know, in the last day just before the pact was to be released, leaders from India, United States, US and UK huddled for a meet, after which India recommended an alteration, the change of language from phase out of carbon to phase down of carbon. The move was criticized by many. Now, ignoring New Delhi's logic behind reasoning based on its plans and that of other developing nations. Speaking on the climate change COP26, President Alok Sharma said that he wished he had been able to preserve the originally agreed language.
Of course, I wish that we had managed to preserve the language on coal that was originally agreed. Nevertheless, we do have language on coal, on phase down, and I don't think anyone at the start of this process would have necessarily expected that that would have been retained, but it has. And I think that is down to the flexibility and the goodwill actually shown by many of the parties here today.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.